Hello everyone, and very warm welcome to you all present here today. My name is Haziq, and today I'm today with Mr. Morgan as he will be presenting Boost Your Work Efficiency with Microsoft Excel. If you have any question regarding today's topic, do leave them in the comments section down below, and Mr. Morgan will answer them right after he finishes presenting. Without further ado, I'll pass the mic to Mr. Morgan.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Azik. All right. Good evening, everybody. Okay. Welcome to our training in boost your work efficiency with Microsoft Excel. All right. So it's going to give you a privilege to know if it just say you are a beginner user or maybe too close to intermediate user. I will give you some tips and tricks that maybe will improve your efficiency. Okay. I'm just going to give you some glimpse of how effectively we can use Excel to make things faster. Okay, there's so many hidden functions, features in Excel that a lot of users don't realize it's already there in front of us. All right, so let me give you some exposure and some of the tricks that you can actually use to improvise your timing that takes for your Excel. All right. Let me share my screen first. All right. Okay, so I have sidelined about four topics, okay, four features here, okay, that might be useful for you. All right. Now, you see, one thing about Excel, yeah, it's about highlighting ranges. We all know we work with a very wide range of data. Some of the data might consist about multiple columns. You might have about 20 columns. I've seen even 40 columns. People managing data with 40, even 40 columns. All right. Then don't talk about the rows. The row might be few thousand rows. Okay, maybe 100,000 or 50,000. Okay, so that's a lot of data. So if you need to just say you need to do some formatting, all right, just say for these examples, then it's going to take us a lot of time for us to go and highlight those cells and get the job done. So there is actually a technique. There's always a shortcut that Microsoft have already organized for us, already set up for us. So we have that option. All right. Let me give you some idea here. Now, first thing, highlighting cells in a very fast way. All right. Now, I have given you some. I've given here some example how we can actually and very effectively and speedily select a range or a data set. Okay, there is a few types of selection that we can actually do. First, this selection here. All right. Let's say I want to select the whole data here. Okay, the whole data. I just need to select. Okay, here I've already written the hotkeys that we can use. Okay, the hotkeys that we can use to for the selection. Yeah. So the first one I want to use is Control A. Now another thing, this one sometimes some of you might be familiar, some of you might not be familiar. You saw that it is Control, then there is a plus sign there, then A there. Okay, that's an alphabet A. It means not for you to click all the three, the plus, even the plus sign. The plus sign is actually there to show or to tell, to indicate that you need to keep pressing the control button or whatever button. Okay, so it's a maksud, you just keep on clicking the control, don't let it go, and click A. Right, so in Google, next time you just say you happen to bump into this kind of instruction, it means it's asking you to permanently click that particular control or alternate or whatever keys they said, then only followed by the following key. Okay, that's what it means. So here, if I press Control A, I will get my data highlighted. You just saw that. It doesn't matter where is your cursor. Okay, this is a cursor. All right, this is what we call as a cursor. Now your cursor can be anywhere. All right, but you have to make sure that they are in the correct range. All right, in the correct range. Now, a lot of your users that also I have seen before, they make one mistake. It is before they go and do any selection from the toolbars here. Okay, doesn't matter what selection it is. They always they forgot that they shouldn't park their cursor outside the data area. All right, so if you have been practicing that, please ensure from now put your cursor inside the data area and proceed with whatever choices of selection that you want to do. All right, so we have it here. Now this is Control A. Okay, A stands for all. So it will highlight all the data set that is inside the range. Now, do you notice that it also has highlighted the header? The headers also will be highlighted because you see data. If you have any values, okay, can be data or can be headers like what you are seeing right now, as long as it's a subsequent, it's in sequence, meaning you see my data is at 2 3 4 5 6 row, from row number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. But unfortunately my date my title is at row number 1. So Excel has identified, hey, look, there is a data on top of us, so I need to highlight it as well because we press Control A. Control A means as long as the data in subsequence of the previous lines, it will select. All right. So remember that. I'll give you a solution later. Now, another thing about a crucial method that you must know about Excel. Excel will assume there is no blank rows and blank data in your data set. Okay, remember this. There shouldn't be any blank rows or blank columns. If you happen to have a blank rows or a blank column, your data will stop there. Okay, Excel, like this example, Excel will not recognize this data unless you go and declare it manually. If you want to follow the choice the way I showed you, Control A, then it will only, you see here, I just pressing Control A, he didn't recognize all this data at the bottom here. Okay, never consider also. It considers all the data that have. Now, if you want to use or enjoy the benefits of Excel, all the functions, all the features, 100% you want to enjoy it, you have to ensure that your data set doesn't have a blank column, doesn't have a blank row. If you happen to have and you know what you're doing, fine, go ahead, no problem. But if you have and you have not done any massaging, any removal of the columns or rows, which is blank, then practice it because it will make your things faster, and a lot of functions that is actually in front of us can be only used if there's no blank rows and columns. That's how they have created Excel. All right, so be careful on that. Now, all right, so I've already showed you about Control A. Now let's see another one. Okay, I take the second set here. I want to highlight like this. All right, no problem, we can highlight it. You can press Control A, no problem. Like here, I also can press Control A, but unfortunately it selects the header. Or you can do this. I'm placing my header here. Okay, that's my title. So I'm going to press Control Shift Arrow. You can see it here. Control Shift Arrow. Okay, whether it's arrow to the right, to the left, it depends how you want the selection to be. Is it from left to right or right to left or top to bottom or bottom to top? Okay, there's 4 directions you select. Now I'm keeping my pointing my cursor here. So you see, Control Shift, I'm going to press the arrow to the right. You saw that automatically the selection I've gone from the PSC up to December automatically. Now I want to select until the last record. Control Shift arrow that points down. There you go. I have made the selection within few seconds. You can actually do it. Maybe 0.5 seconds. You can actually do it. You see, I show you here. Remember, I had a problem here with the header. It selected all the headers here. You shouldn't do that. So I'm going to do Control Shift the arrow to the right. Control Shift arrow to the bottom. My selection is done. Very, very fast. Once you're used to it, you can actually do it within a blink of your eye. You can do a selection of your data. All right. Until you get used to, you don't need to see your keyboard also. Your fingers are quite normal already. Control Shift arrow down, because all of us are in the corporate world. All of us manage data. All of us need to select ranges. Okay. It can be one column. It can be the whole data set. All right. Use this function. Use this method. Even if you want to highlight a single cell, a single column, also can. Let's say I want to highlight December like this. Just bring your cursor here. Control Shift arrow down. Job done. Even you have about 50,000 line, don't worry, you let the work to be done by Excel. You don't waste your time doing it, highlighting manually using your mouse. Use this method. It is very, very fast. Okay, the third one is Control Shift Home. Now remember I said that we have this this blank rows. Okay, unfortunately, but if you put your cursor here, okay, I'm putting at the last record here. Control Shift Home. So what actually happens is it will select, okay, from where you have parked your cursor up to cell A1. Okay, it highlights until cell A1. So you just need to point out, okay, point out your AND data, then press Control Shift Home. It will straight away highlight the whole data range. Even though you have blank columns or blank rows, doesn't matter, it will highlight for you. All right. So this is the three choices you can actually use for selections. All right. It will be very helpful, especially when if you are familiar with VLOOKUP, if you are familiar with count if and sum if. These are lovely functions that you have in Excel. Okay. So if you have not been using it, come over for the class. Okay. I'll show you how you can actually benefit not only the selection but all these functions that we have. Okay. For our data management and also for data analysis. All right. So that is how you can actually highlight your cells faster. So it saves you time. All right. Now, second, working with cells from multiple sheets. Right. This is going to be fun. Okay. Here you see, all of us or most of us will have multiple sheets in a workbook. Okay. In one file, you might have, some of you might have 20, some of you might have 12, some of you might have 15. Okay. Depending on your data that you manage. So here, I give you an example here. I have 5 months data, January up to May. Okay, so those are the transactions. You saw that. Okay, so the total. So February total, March, April, May. All right, you saw that if you notice the totals that we have here, the number of transactions that is happening for each month is not consistent. Okay, they are not consistent. You see January, you see where the total is. Also, we know already it's not consistent. All right, you see it is right now at line number 17. This one is at number 12. So they are not consistent. It doesn't mean like 1 month I have 30 transaction, the following month also I have 30 transaction. So even in practical life, we cannot say that. Sometimes we have low, sometimes we have very high. All right. So never mind. That's not the case I'm talking here. What I'm quite concerned here is I need to do a summary. Okay, I need to do a summary. So because the data has come there, so I need to present to my board of directors. Okay, what is the latest record and all this is my data that I supposed to show it to them lah. Okay, of course, when you go for HOD meetings and all that, we wouldn't be showing them the in-depth transaction unless they request us. They always see our higher end management. They always prefer to see summaries. Okay, from the summary, then they will like to ask. Maybe if they are not so, not so happy with our presentation, maybe they want to see the data. Okay, all right. So now I'm going to focus on summarizing the data. Now, let's say here, I need to find out what is the sales for January. I'm going to do this manually for now. What? Just watch. So usually what we do, if you are taking a value from a different cell, we just use the equal. All right. This is equal. Then we go to the January. Then we select this and we enter. Correct? Then we go to Feb. Equal. Go to Feb. Select. Enter. Then go to March. Select March. Then scroll down a bit. Depending where is your total. Then this is how we're going to do it. Now, this is still simple. Imagine if you're from finance. Imagine you're from accounts. Or even from warehouse. Or even from admin. Actually, everybody will require to do this. And you have a lot of cells that you need to pick and drop here. Now it looks very easy for me at this moment, but when the data is quite huge, using this method can be very complicated, can create a lot of confusion, and there's a tendency to make a mistake. Okay, we are human beings. Okay, there's always a tendency. So how can we have a better way? Is there even a smarter way? Okay, is there even an easier way to handle this problem? The answer is yes. Okay, the answer is we need to do a name. You need to create naming for our cells or our range. Cell means one cell, range means more than one cell. Okay, so what does it mean by naming? All right, let me give you a simple idea. Let me delete this. All right, now the total that we have for the January, it is under the F17. Okay, F17. This is under F17, the cell F17. Now, whenever that we select a cell equals F17, all right, let's go back to this cell. All right, you see here, F17, that was the original location, but it also have added the name of the sheet. That's because if you do not have the name of the sheet, F17 will be thinking is taken from the current sheet. Or if you do not have the word January, then the word Jan, you wouldn't know this F17 is taken from which sheet. So what Excel does is it will insert for us the sheet name so that we know this F17 is taken from which sheet. If you do not have, that's going to be a lot of problem. All right. Now, every sheet also will have F17. If you have 1,000 sheet you are working on, all the sheet will have F17. You cannot run away from that. So what I want is, so that is the name, okay, that is the name or the identification of F17 for all the sheets, but in front of it, it has the sheet name. But what if I don't like F17? I want to have a more unique name so it's easier for me. All right, now let's look. You see, I'm going to go to F17 here, and I'm going to put that as, let's say, sales underscore Jan. Let's say you can have the underscore if you do not want the underscore, so it's fine, no problem. But I just want to show you, if you are doing a naming, let's do it in a very rational naming convention because it's much more easier. All right, so sales January, I'm going to enter. Okay, February, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring my cursor here. This is the name box. Sales Feb underscore Feb. You cannot have identical name. You must have unique name. Sales March. Go to April. Make sure you select the correct cell before you do the naming. Sales April. Enter. Sales underscore May. There you go. When I click here, I've already have all the naming shown here. January, February, March, April, May. Okay, now summary. Remember how we did it for the sales, right? Now let me show you the magic here. Sales, you saw that all the naming that we have done earlier is now shown here. Now, why did I put the convention, the naming convention, the word sales first? Because I know all the cells that I've named it for January up to May, it starts with the word sales. So it's easy for me when I'm going to retrieve the cell, it's easier for me. So what I'm going to do is I just need to highlight the January. Job done. Sales. Feb. Sales. March. Sales. April. Sales. How about that? It took me not even 10 seconds to complete this. You just need to go and do the identification. Okay, where is the cell? And that's it. Excel will know what to do. I don't need to refer to the sheet also. Let Excel do the work for me. I don't want to have the headache. Okay, let's pass the headache to Excel. We got to understand, okay, we need to understand one thing, that Excel is there to do the work for us, not the other way around. A lot of especially the basic users and also the intermediate beyond intermediate users, only one mistake they will do is they always feed information for Excel. That means that they are working for Excel. By right, it shouldn't be like that. Excel is always ready to work for you. You don't put the burden on yourself. Like in this example, we already know there is actually this method that we can actually cut our time, okay, on doing redundant process and making things complex for us. So the thing is already there. So now Excel is going to do the job of retrieving the values from the cells. So that is the smart way doing it. So you have more efficiency, you have more time to do other things rather than just wasting our time doing this kind of small matters. All right. Okay, now I have to do another thing here. I also need to do average number of transaction for each month. This is number of transaction. What was the highest sale and what was the lowest value sale? So all this I have to show. So average for January. So if we are doing it manually, yeah, just say manually, it's going to be average. Then I'm going to go to January. Control Shift arrow down. This is what I meant. Okay, Control Shift arrow down. You see the fella highlighted for me. We already learned earlier. So that is my average. So then I have to go back to February. I need to go back to March again and again and again. Now let the magic start again. I'm gonna start. Remember that's now we did. What we did is we selected a single cell, edit a name. Now a naming, it's not necessarily must be done only on single cell. You can also name a range. For example, this range. This I want to make it okay. Let's say I want to put it as Jan. Okay, Jan, Jan. This is Feb. This is March. Sorry. I'm only selecting the amount column. Yeah, I'm not selecting the whole data. Then this is April, and this is May. All right. So when you do your average, all right, you can put Jan. That's it. Average Feb. Or you can put any naming convention you want. I just did the first one. Maybe you put the word. Maybe you can put it as what is it? AMT. AMT is the amount for Jan. Okay, you can also name like that. So for February also you put AMT underscore Feb. So when you type the word A or AMT, it will listen for you all the month. Okay, it can also. All right. March. April. Sorry, May. You can also notice the difference here is you can see there is like this March and May. You saw that there's like cells and only two cells is what is it has the blue color there, meaning we have selected a range. I mean, we have that is actually a naming for one of the range that we have given. All right. Oh, sorry, that's me. Yeah. All right. So we no need to do that again. Now let's say we have done the normal way. Then for count, I need to go do the same thing again. For max, I need to go do the same thing again. For minimum, also I need to do the same thing again. But if you have done this, then it's very easy. You just use your count, gen. Count is a function that does the counting how many records are there. Count for Feb, count for March, count for April, count for May. So how fast was it? So that is the total number of transactions. So March we had the highest transaction, and April we had the low transaction. And the things was so fast. I just got my answers so fast. Okay, let's see the highest. So max, Jan, Feb, March, April, May. and I never even wasted my time to go to all the sheets and go and do it. Okay, so how fast we are doing this. Mean for Jan. That's it. Job done. Okay, so this is what important is naming. You can also do a naming for calculations, not only for summary, even for calculation. For example, let's say for January, you want to know the percentage of commission. Okay, just example, and I need to take the January sales, then multiply with just say 17%. So what I just need to do is sales for Jan multiply with 17%. So that is my commission. So you can also use it for a formula. Not necessary you can't do anything. You can do anything because the logic in Excel is a cell reference. Okay, a cell reference is there to what is it to make things easier for us. Now, if you do your formulas using cell reference, right, that means uh, perfect. You can cut short a lot of time. What is it? Cell reference. All this is cell reference lah. Like for example, like this. This is D11. All right. This is cell D11, right? You can see it here. That means this is D. This is 11. Okay. So that is cell reference, right? So using a cell reference in the formula rather than just using the value itself. For example, let's say this is 72. This is 12. Let's say these two I want to add on. Okay. If I put my hit and just say okay, this is 84, I can put that as 72 plus 12. If I ask you a question whether this is right or wrong, it's very hard for us to say because theoretically this is right, but practically in Excel it is wrong. Okay, because Excel, this is a very very simple way of doing it. Better you use a calculator. So that is the wrong way to do it. If you have been doing it, stop doing that. You're supposed to use a cell reference, which is equals select the cells that you want to add. So D11 plus this is what we call as cell references. D11 and D12. This is cell references. All right. So this is how we're supposed to do your formulas from the basic formula up to the advanced formula. Even though super complex formula also, you need to try that you need to try to use cell references in your formula. All right, then only you can enjoy all the others. Then only you can have an effective system, okay, in your working files. Okay, so okay, Control Shift Home. All right, Control Shift Home. It was highlighting cells fast. Okay, Control Shift Home. You see, I'm putting my cursor here. Who was it? With Evangeline. Okay, so this is how you do it. Put your cursor to the last data. Control, don't let go. Shift, don't let go. Home, job done. Control Shift Home. Right, so that's how you do it. All right, so that's on naming, guys. Okay, very very useful and very helpful if you are working with multiple sheets and it requires you to have a summary like what I'm showing you right now. Nevertheless, there is so many other ways how you can actually do a what is it, a summary. Yeah, I'm just showing you this summary example using the naming feature. You can there is other feature, another features also, or other functions also that you can use to get the summaries that what I just showed you. Okay, but we need to understand all both ways. Okay, today we learn about this, then later when you go for another class, I'll show you how you can actually combine all your data from all the sheets and come out with a summary in a different way, but the output is the same. Okay, so this is about naming. Now let us go for the third one, formulas in multi-cell. Okay, formulas in multi-cell. Now you see here, let's say all these cells that you're looking right now, that is highlighted, is actually sharing the same formula. For example, it's supposed that its total is quantity multiplied with price. Okay, this quantity, this price. So when you multiply, you get the total. So equals quantity multiply with price. Then all the others are need to follow the same 100% the same formula. Quantity multiply price. Quantity multiply price. So you can see that it's a lot. Okay, then you can see there's a lot there. Okay, so what we do is we need to do one for this, another one for this, another one time for this, another one time for this, another one time for this. Total we need to do 5 times, but same formula. That's because they are not on the same column. That's why we're having a problem now. If it's actually one data set, not an issue. But now you have like multiple data set, so there is an issue. So how do we do this? Okay, let me show you scenario one. Highlight, 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 highlight. Okay, you have to select the non-neighboring cells, adjacent cells. They call it adjacent cells, but don't worry about that term. If it's not side by side, the way you have to highlight is using the control button. I show you again. I highlighted this cells first. Then before I select the other cells, I need to press the control. Don't let go. Then continuously click until you have selected all the other cell or ranges. Now don't do anything, but immediately start with the equal. Okay, so it's actually highlighted here. You can see it here. Just select quantity, multiply price. Just do that. Okay, just do that. And control, don't press enter, but control enter, the magic will happen. Control plus enter is control, oops, sorry, plus enter. If you want it to automatically paste the formula for all the other cells like we have selected, you cannot press enter. If you press enter, it will only apply to that one particular cell. But if you want it to automatically apply to all the other cells, you need to press control enter, and it will autofill for you the formulas. And this is possible because we used cell reference. Okay, you need to use a cell reference, then only it will do the thing that I just showed you. Right? If you have any question, you can highlight, or you can also ask me later after the class during the Q&A. Okay, this is one way. Or second way, if you have a data like this, you can also highlight. Same thing, you can highlight equals quantity multiply with price. Control enter also can. All right. Okay, but of course you can also, if you're used to doing this way, also can. But I'm just showing you one method settles everything. Okay, so you can also double click after you have created the first formula. You can double click, it also can autofill. Okay, but I just want to show you how you can actually use control enter to autofill for you the formulas. Okay, so this is another method which is quite good lah. Especially if you have this like scenario one. If you have like scenario one, it's good to use the method I showed you. All right, let's go for the last one here. Subtotal. Okay, here I have a record for this on my left hand side. You can see it's a region. This is the product, and this is the month, and also the total. So what I want to do right now is I want to do an analysis. Okay, an analysis of all this data here. So when we say analysis, another term for analysis is actually, if you think about it, is summary. You need to summarize your data. Okay, so that's why a technical term they call it as analysis. Okay, you just need to summarize your data. So when you say you want to summarize your data, you need to ask yourself, how do you want to see the summarization? Okay, in this example, do I want to see it by month, or do I want to see it by product, or do I want to see it by region? Do I want to see it as my summary based on region, or do I need to see my summary based on product? Okay, let's say I select first region. Okay, I want to see by region how is the sale. All right. Okay, now you see here, if you want to do what I'm going to do right now is you need to sort your data accordingly. Remember, now I said I want to see my data, my analysis based on region. Okay, I want to see it by then. So if you have decided that you want to see your analysis based on region, you need to sort that particular column. Okay, this is actually, I'm showing you one of the tools. There's so many ways you can actually summarize the data. Let me show you a simple way for now. So you go to region, you just need to sort it. Okay, just sort it. A to Z or Z to A is up to you. I'm going to put A to Z. So I just sort. So my data will be sorted. Don't worry about your data dekat sini. It will be automatically sorted as well. As long there is no blank columns, you're fine. All right. So now you see that's already nicely I've sorted according to the region, east, north, and west. There's three regions here. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to insert a subtotal, which is lying hidden inside the data. And the last option here will have the subtotal. Whatever we are learning today is available in all the versions of Excel. I'm using Excel 365, Office 365, Microsoft 365 actually. Okay, so if you're using older version than that, doesn't matter. Whatever I'm showing you is available in all your versions. Okay, maybe the location is a bit different, or maybe certain of the icons that you can see, mine has the title called example subtotal. Yours might not have the title, maybe just the icon. It's all depends on your version and also on your laptop. Sometimes if your laptop screen resolution is quite small or quite big, it might not be able to show the text. It will only show the icon. All right, so if you do not see the word subtotal, don't think it doesn't have, you have it there. So the easier way is, what you do is you just bring your cursor. Let's say for this example, there's nothing here written. I'm just going to put it here, and I'm just going to wait, and it will show me a description what it does. Okay, for example, here as well, let's put it on top. So it's created relationship. Okay, all this one all is only available in the latest version. I'm just giving an idea. So just put it on top of it and see what is the description is giving you, what is the title is giving you. So you can see the word subtotal is there. So it means I'm selecting the correct one. So subtotal. Okay, now it's asking us at each change in the first one. It's asking me at each change in. This is basically the column that you have sorted. Just remember that is enough. Remember, I just sorted the region. So you need to go and select the correct column that you have sorted. All right. Now, second, so here is region. So I'm just Not going to change this. Second is the function. What do you want me to summarize? Remember summarization. Whether you want me to sum up, or you want me to count, you want me to select the average, check the average, or maximum, minimum. Okay, and so many more. Okay, I'm going to stick to sum. Now it's asking us, where do you want to insert the subtotal? Is it under the total, or do you want to see in even in January, February, March? So you can manually select. No problem. I want to select like this. I'm not going to do any changes here. I'm going to click OK, and that's my summary. Do you notice that without doing any formula, I have already got the breakdown? I can also change the view to this view where without a formula, I have already got what is the total for all this. Okay, don't mind about the tables lah, because that I manually formatted the borders and all. So you saw that is total January, February, March. How much was the sales? No formulas. So when I go to the, let's say if I go to a meeting discussion, if I have done this, when anybody asks me, I can show them multiple view. Number one is giving me, all right. So this is the sales January, February, March, the total. So I want to show them a drill. There you go. So east, how much was it? North, south, and west. And third one, it shows me everything. Okay, a perfect way of doing things. All right, let me go back to the subtotal again. Let me remove it. Okay, come back to normal. Now I want to show you if I select by product, if I sort by product, let's see how it goes. Okay, so this is by product. Okay, let's go and do the subtotal. Okay, I want to see it. Let's see now I only want to see the total only now. All right, then make sure you select same thing, sum, if you want to see the sum. Okay, so that is my total. Let me show you another view. So is not okay the total according to the product. Okay, hold on. Yes, hold on. This one I forgot to change. Sorry. This is supposed to be product. Remember, I told you that you're supposed to change it. So it's a product, the column that is sorted. So there you go. So I have a breakdown of the total. What is the total product that I sold from January up to March? If you want to see the whole thing, also can, not a problem. You can go back to your subtotal, select for the particular month or all the months, and click OK, and then you will get a summary for all the month. How much was the sales? Just nice. All right, perfect. If you have it this, then you go to insert. Very fast way of me doing a chart. I can also embed a chart during my presentation. You know how fast it is. Another shortcut way to get a chart in. You saw that? I just, you know what is a shortcut to get a chart to come in like this? You can try and see after the class. Press your F11. Okay, your F11 is a shortcut to insert a chart. All right, F11. So you just need to ensure that your cursor is in the data area. Go and press F11. It will automatically insert for you a column chart. All right. So coming back to this. So you got your chart, you got your things, everything is that from your data that looks earlier like this. All right. Now I have managed to get a data including with a chart that makes my presentation very easy. And no sweat, no formulas. All right. So there are a lot of, like what I said, a lot of hidden features that maybe we are not exposed yet. Maybe we do not know how there was a features like this before. All right, it is always there. anything you think of, anything you think that is actually taking you a lot of time, there is always a solution. Okay, you just need to understand how to do it. Okay, now that is on a subtotal. There is many more things that we can actually do. There's many more tools that you have in Excel. Like for example, if let's say this is a data entry. Okay, let's say this is the data. Let me remove it. Okay, let's say this is the data entry. This is the data entry. Yeah. Now, the next data that is coming in, it might not have any relationship with the previous data. What I mean here is, if let's say here is amount, amount is showing us the sum. Okay, basically it is calculating all the sum here. But let's say if I have a new data here, okay, right now I've already formatted, so it's automatically calculating for me now. But I assure you, when you're doing it later with your fresh file, you won't have that automatically inserted. You have to go back and redo back your formulas, for the new data lah. All right, but there is a technique we can actually use, how we can make our file 100% automated, and we just need to insert the data only, either data entry or you copy and paste your data, and Excel will take the data and do whatever analysis or summarization you want. Okay, there is one solution there. Okay, you come for the class, I'll show it to you. What is the magic tools? Okay, that is a very important tools that you need to understand. Okay, and it's very easy. Okay, when you come for the class, I'll give you a very good scenarios, how you can actually utilize that particular tool. Okay, and it makes your life very easy, even if you're using a VLOOKUP or any functions in your data. Using that tools that I'm going to show it to you, it will make your file dynamic, meaning you have already successfully created a system where you just need to feed in some raw data. Excel will give you the end results. Okay, that is the objective of Excel. Okay, that will make us a very good, what is it, a good and efficient person in managing data in Excel. Okay, guys. Okay, so that's all the time that we have for today. All right. There is a lot more, like what I said. There's many more. Okay, you can request from the Hazik after the class. Okay, about the brochure for the following classes. There's so many more functions and formulas, and also the features of Excel that we'll be covering on the next 2 days class. All right. So if you have any question, please do put it in the comment box. Okay, please put it in the chat box. I can try to recap for you any part that actually wasn't clear to you.
So, Mr. Morgan, are we waiting for
Yes,
any
sir.
question?
I've already requested. Looks like nobody has responded yet. Okay, so
Mm, I think just assume lah. There will be no any question coming.
okay, all
So
right.
okay, all right. So thank you so much for such an insightful presentation on our topic here today, Mr. Morgan.
You're welcome, Hazik.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining our live session here today. But it is not the end. Mr. Morgan will be having his public training Microsoft Excel Intermediate and Advanced level coming 16 and 17 of June. If you're interested, you may reach out to us via the email and contact number provided down below in the ticker. Please like our Facebook page if you enjoyed today's session and follow us for future live sessions. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you soon. Till then, take care and bye bye.
Thank you, Hazik. You're welcome, Shafinas. Okay, glad that you find it helpful. Okay, all right. All the best. All right, Hazik. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you,
All right.
everybody. Bye. Bye, Karen. You're welcome.